Yeah, we're live. We'll do
There
it
we
live.
are, baby.
Yes. Don't call it a comeback. Woo! Ladies and gentlemen,
Con,
boys and girls.
what's up, man? How's it going?
Oh, good, brother. Tired. Feeling old, as we were saying earlier. Back hurts. But I'm
But
doing,
good though, huh?
huh?
But good though, huh?
Absolutely. Just been crazy busy.
But
I'm doing though, huh? All right, our stream's working. Crazy busy with this biz, but all good things. It's super fun. So, been trying to enjoy the hobby as much as I can while doing my thing. Focused on my career and such. So, I know you're working a lot as well over there. So, what up, Basic? I knew this man would be in the chat. He's everywhere, and I love it.
Yeah, man. He always shows up to support. He's a good dude. Gotta catch
Cats,
them all too. What's up, man?
what's up, boys?
How's
Welcome.
it going?
Yeah, welcome to episode 7 after a brief hiatus of the Kanto Conversations podcast. Me, Rock Pokemon, my good friend Rob, Red or
What's up,
Blue.
guys?
We're back. Here we are. So, think today we're gonna take some questions from the chat, hang out, talk about CGC, talk about I don't know, some hot products we're seeing, some eras that are coming back into vogue. Maybe we'll, I don't know, maybe I'll touch on a little Weiss, maybe open one of these bad boys. You never know. So we're gonna have a good time. So what do you want to start with, Rob? What's been going on with you? How's the hobby been treating you?
Dude, hobby's been it's been treating me good. I can always find something to really enjoy it, through the ups and downs or whatever else is going on. Guys like, Basic and, Jello, what's up, man? Dan, like these guys that are, you know, um, constants. I got a lot of people that continue to show up and support. So no matter what, man, like whether sales are up or down, like it's just about enjoying something that you love with friends, So I think that the hobby's been real good for me lately. A lot of topics to discuss that I've kind of noticed in the hobby lately in regards to certain items that are selling more than others. I think a lot of people are like, oh, we're in a recession in regards to the Pokemon hobby, sales are down, or prices have fallen off. And for a lot of it, I'd say it's true. Most of the people in this chat know that as well. But there are some items that have been doing particularly well, and just some hot topics that I thought we can kind of talk about, man. So I'm kind of open to wherever you want to start, man.
Heck
Let
yeah.
me know.
I did see that Dan said he's prepping his first CGC sub in about 6 to 8 months, which I find super interesting. So I would love to hear, because I submit a lot to CGC. I actually just got grades back today for I had like 25 of my own cards and then another 25 of like middleman cards for a couple of buddies, including Dragon Type Master, who's in the chat there. Check him out.
Nice.
Subscribe. He's been back on the YouTube wagon. He's collecting vending series right now, if I recall. So pretty neat. Hayden out there. So yeah, I'd love to hear like what your thoughts are on what we're seeing like from CGC, and then maybe I can give some of my thoughts based on what I've been doing grading wise.
Yeah, man. I think that you're going to have a lot more feedback than I will, just because I've never graded with CGC. I do like CGC. I think that they're a solid company and they have their place in Pokemon, in regards to grading. I think the turnaround times have gotten a lot faster. Prices, I'm not really too sure what they are nowadays for like bulk, but I have heard the turnaround times are actually quite quick, which is great. I think people want to get their cards in a rather timely manner and not have to pay $50 to $100 a sub. I think BGS is a pretty solid alternative right now, $30 a card for standard. And it took about, I think 2 to 3 weeks to get my cards back. So that's pretty solid as well. But just on the CGC front, the thing that I'm sure that everybody has already seen and talked about and whatnot, but something I just wanted to bring up and just, engage with the chat to see what your guys' thoughts are. Just seeing a lot more CGC perfect 10s hit the market. Like I said, I've never graded anything with CGC before, so I don't have that firsthand experience, but I do have that save filter on eBay, CGC Perfect 10,
Yep.
and just check how many hit my inbox every single day compared to like Pokemon Black Label BGS 10. And it used to be like maybe 1 to like 3 a day for the CGC Perfect 10s, and now they're just flooding through the market. Every single day it's at least 10. Plus or minus a little bit. Don't want to be too dramatic, but it's a lot more than what it used to be for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've clicked on a lot of these links to say, like, are they not grading as harsh or what's going on? And a lot of them have like print lines across the middle of them. The centering doesn't look too good. Even from like just eyeing it, I can tell that it's off a bit. And so to me, it seems like they've eased up a little bit on their standards. I'd love to know what chat thinks, as well as what you think in regards to, your experience with grading with them firsthand.
Yeah, to your first point, the turnaround times are wild. Like, I sent in bulk. I think it got there like on the 21st of April, but it got checked in on like the 28th, and grades posted today, which is sick. And then
Wow.
it usually takes, because certified mail takes effing forever to get back from from Sarasota for some reason. But yeah, I think this is really interesting that Dan said here about the PWCC partnership. I think that's going to be super cool, where you can just send your cards in, $20 a card. They go straight to the auction block. I think that's really neat. I do think that I have a lot of thoughts on CGC. I want to just talk on the PWCC thing real quick, because I think what's going on is a not necessarily a repositioning, but a reinforced positioning of CGC as the like everyday grading company, like accessible to new entrants to the hobby, very easy website, very engaging social media team. Like, they get back to me all the time on messages, and like I've heard the same from others. I've had great customer service experience. Obviously there are a few things I don't love about CGC. No one's perfect, but I think that it gives new entrants to the hobby, especially like folks who want to grade modern, for example, nice entry-level pricing, which I don't know if we'll ever see go down. There's kind of different thoughts around that, where some people think it might drop back down. Right now it's like off the cuff, $15 plus 10 for subgrades. Maybe they drop that subgrade pricing someday, depending on how demand plays out, right? But I think we are seeing them try to position themselves there, right? Where we all know BGS is, if you're not used to it, and luckily I've had a long history with BGS, it's arduous to say the least, to deal with submitting there, and you're not really sure if your cards are just going to some dude's basement and they come back in 3 years, or what the deal is. I love the product. I love what they put out, but I hate the process, right?
I couldn't submit it online. I tried for a minute, and I even looked up videos like on YouTube, like how to submit online. And the guy's like, I've been doing this for years. It sucked for years. Just print out the form and just fill it out by hand. And so luckily I have a really good friend who grades with BGS all the time and has really good luck with Black Label. So I asked him, hey, would you mind if I sent you a sub, get your, opinion on it, bust out the old scale loop and stuff, and see, like, kind of pre-grade it. And he's like, yeah, man, I'd love to do that. And so he did that. I got like 6 or 7 cards back. I ended up getting 110. I got the Mew from 25th anniversary. I got the pristine on that. That's the only 10 I got. The other ones got the 9.5s. So it was a really fun process to do that. But man, they are tough graders. So I think that's one of the plus sides with CGC loosening up a bit, is because, like Dan said, hey, it's a little bit more fun now because I'm getting more, 10s, better grades than what I'm used to. And let's go ahead and give them another shot. I think that it was a good business move on their part by doing that.
Yeah, I think like in the short term, it obviously creates this like weird, I don't want to call it like tension in the hobby, but just like this, right? People having this mental exercise of talking about like what's going on. Like, and Dan talked about this in his podcast too. Like these other companies have gone through phases of changing their grading standards throughout time. People talk about the cert eras with PSA, blah, 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 right? Like we'll look back on this in like a year and I don't think anyone will really care as much because I think
Right.
it is what's happening, right? CGC is positioning themselves as that everyday, easy, accessible. PSA still commands that price, still like commands kind of the brand. I think with all the businesses under PSA Collectors Universe's umbrella, is that the right? Now I always start getting them mixed up, but how they own so many different entities, like soup to nuts auction process, kind of similar to how CGC is partnering with PWCC, but all under the same roof, right? That there is that like kind of higher tier to it, right? That higher acclaim to grading with PSA. I still personally like CGC slabs and definitely BGS slabs better than PSA. It's just how I grew up on BGS, so like that's my thing. CGC, I really enjoy. PSA starts to feel cheap the more Beckett and CGC slabs you handle. I think people will find. So there's that. It's nice that you know it's a really fun, easy process to work with CGC.
Yeah,
And that's
absolutely.
like for me, like I know like Dan's got a business. Some of the other guys in the chat have more businesses or more like, focused on the churn. I certainly sell. Like heck yeah, I'd like to, fund the hobby out of the hobby, right? But it's just like when I spend money with CGC, like it's fun. Like grading is fun for me, right? Like I've recently sent in more modern than ever, and whether it's, whether I keep it or whether I decide to let it go, or a combination of both, right? Throw it on display on my desk, but throw it up on eBay too. Like, I've been able to get, over half my sub a lot of times, like a 50 card bulk has gotten tens, which is crazy.
And
So
what you just said, I think, is so important, man. I think that's the biggest factor is that there's fun now to it. Because for me, the reason why I've never submitted with CGC is because I've seen some of your submissions come back, and I'm looking at these cards, and I'm like, these are PSA 10s, and they're coming back like 9s or like 9.5, whatever, and that's cool, but like it doesn't feel as good when you get that return and you're kind of like looking at it and you kind of expect a certain grade, especially if you gotten used to grading with PSA, like some of the people in here, like you kind of have a pretty good idea, probably about an 80-90% chance that you probably are going to know what it's going to grade. And then you get a 9 or a 9.5 and you're like, oh, come on, man. Like the resale value of this just went way down. And a lot of it can be for your collection, and that's totally fine if you just prefer CGC. But a lot of us do make this as a little side hustle, make a little extra cash to fund our collection goals. And so when you kind of have that at mind, like for me, it never seemed fun to do a submission. And so now that I am seeing more 10s, that it does look fun, man. It is more appealing. And I definitely will be submitting to CGC for sure.
Nice.
Yeah.
See, it's cool to hear that because we haven't really talked about this. Like that's the other angle of this. Like everyone who's like an OG in the hobby, like wants to get all bent out of shape about CGC, throwing out more 10s. And it's like, first of all, like I'm not going to deny they're putting out more 10s. And I'm not going to deny I feel like the grading standards are different. Like maybe like probably easier, but also different. And the way, like, for example, like the way they grade surface versus other companies, I think is different. And
can you elaborate on that?
So I mean, I've seen different things with how they use some of their analysis, and people in the chat can correct me if I'm wrong. Dan might know some about this, but I think they like a reason that originally CGC cards, especially vintage, used to get a lot of surface grades like 8.5 and below was because they actually like analyzed the layers of the card somehow. From what I recall, and because of the inherent old vintage nature of vintage cards, there's a degradation of like that paper layering, I guess, or something. That's is a little conjecture because I can't remember the source of this, but it's like what I would call in my brain. There have been people who, between the way things are worded on CGC's website and things that happen in the chat board, that say things like that the print lines don't play as much into the surface grading because it's not as much about factory surface errors, but it's more about like scratching and aftermarket errors or flaws, excuse me. So, and Dan threw something in here. Yeah, like the Misaki promo mark, right? Because if a Misaki promo has that classic dent, it's going to get a PSA 6. Like that's even like this, that 6 mu I showed you. Like that's why I literally said, I'm going to crack this. It's probably going to get a 7.5 or an 8 at CGC. Like, I'm just going to see what happens. I need to like look at it more, but I'm just going to crack it and see what happens because that's fun. Right.
Yeah.
So, that's kind of what Dan said here is that, you know, it can get a higher total grade because that surface isn't going to be as tough. Where PSA, it's like, boom, you get a 6. That's it. We see it all the time with Misaki promos. So,
and that's a good point. What Basic just said in the chat, because that's kind of how I felt initially, and then I kind of went to, do you know what? I think that it's really nice that we kind of have a mixture of grading services. We have PSA that's the, you know, the standard. It's what most people collect. It's been around for a while and just kind of has like that name. And then you have like the brand of BGS, which is like, I mean, you just look at this slab, you feel the slab, it looks more high end, it feels more high end, and they grade tougher, you know, and that's awesome. You try to get that elusive black label. It's really fun to chase. A lot of people know that they're probably not going to get the 10. They're probably going to get the 9.5, something along those lines, but it's still fun to chase. And then you have CGC now, which is kind of more, like you said, like a good value option for people that are like coming into the hobby or just, you know, churning through lots of cards, want to have fun and just enjoy that process of like submitting cards and getting a return. Like that feeling is so fun. Getting that box, you're so excited. You know, you get to look at it and then, you know, make a little extra money if you want to go that route, or just add some more slabs to your collection for an affordable price at a good turnaround time. So I think, like, to me, like I felt the same way, Basic, where I was like, well, what the heck? They were trying to be this gold standard, and then all of a sudden they just went the totally opposite other way. But the more that I've like chewed on it, the more that I actually really kind of like that they eased up a little bit.
What we really need is someone to go buy Beckett and turn it into an actual efficient modern day grading company. Because between the standard of grading, the chase of a black label, and the quality of the end product, like if that company could just be pulled into the 21st century, we would be like, it'd kind of be like the perfect scenario for everyone. I would submit way more to them.
Yeah.
I'm never going to submit to PSA. Like, I'm just not. Sorry. Like, I don't like it. So like,
that's okay.
So I've been, yeah, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Do you know, I couldn't find the pop report on this card, and I literally reached out. I literally reached out to the support team at BGS, and they couldn't find it either.
You got to go to the website, then you got to go to the other website, then you got to go to the bottom left, and then it takes you to the serial lookup. And then when you do the serial lookup, you can usually click through to it. If not, you got to go back to that one, go to another page, try to look up the set. It's hilarious. Yeah, sometimes they just don't come up. They're just like, nah, I don't think it's in there. So
like the actual person on the support line was like they could not find it. It's like, what? What do you mean?
So bad.
It's crazy, man. So I agree. I would love to see them step into the 21st century as well, man.
I used to go to with the Dave and Adams, right? And like the Beckett guys would be there, like when I was a kid, because I was really into sports cards when I was a kid, more than anything else, I think. Just because like that's what my dad liked, you know. So like it all got fueled towards me. Like,
oh yeah, for sure.
My grandma was the one who bought me Pokemon cards, and then myself, you know. But my dad always got me like booster boxes of like NBA and stuff like that. So,
was it your last name Benoit?
What's that?
What's your last name?
Oh, it's my mom's. It's my mom's mom.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah. So, But yeah, it's I love the product, just man, especially because I like Weiss so much, and like Weiss and Beckett like go like hand in hand like this. Which is why I was excited for CGC to start grading Weiss too, because and maybe a little transition or another thing I wanted to note, it's been so fun to watch how popular Weiss has become. Um, and seeing a lot of people grade them with CGC. It's cool because like so many people find Beckett unapproachable, right? PSA
Mhm.
grades Weiss, but they look the best in Beckett slabs. Let's be real. So yeah, that's been super fun because I've been a huge anime Weiss collector for like the past decade, maybe, and to see how popular it's become and see it blow up. Like some people might feel weird because it's like, oh, I want like this was my thing, and now everyone does it, but it has like all those elements that people are looking for, you know, serialized cards, really, really high end chase cards, like
Yeah.
even just like kind of run the stack of the, you know, commons, uncommons, rares through the rarity scale. Like all the cards are super good. And anime is so like in vogue that
Yeah.
it's been cool to watch people like discover and enjoy that for sure. It brings me a lot of joy because I love anime and Weiss. I love it.
Yeah, we were just talking about that Pokemon DNA. That's so funny.
Oh, DNA is going to come on the channel soon. So
That's hilarious. Yeah,
Valiant,
man, the whole Weiss thing is cool, man. It's definitely good to see. I've just like I'm such a risk taker.
your risk
uh, uh,
averse.
Thank you. Yeah, risk. Yeah, exactly. That it's like the video game market. Like I kept seeing it like go up, up, and up, and I'm like, man, I don't really know if I want to buy anything. Like, yeah, there you go. And I think it's the same principles that go with Pokemon collecting as well. It's like collect what you love, like collect what means something to you. Like I look at certain Nintendo 64 like the box arts. I think they're the best video games boxes personally. The way that like that rectangle is, the colors are usually really vibrant and just really solid. And like there's some games, man, that I just spent hours and hours of my childhood, and I would like to grab a couple at an affordable, reasonable price. But like some of these Wise cards like that I've seen are just like crazy, just thousands and thousands of dollars. And I'm like, is this going to really hold up over time? Or is this just like a fad that people are into now? And now they're just moving on to the next set. So I'm kind of waiting a little bit to see, where it kind of goes. And like, I love Attack on Titan. So I bought a bunch of boxes of the reprint.
Yeah.
We'll open them for fun, probably do some on the channel for sure during the live streams. And just enjoy it, and worst comes to worst, like those boxes are really affordable. If I pull something, awesome. And if not, like I don't need to go buy a $500 to $1,000 card, like to really hold on to it. If I love it that much, awesome. But like I'm kind of, I don't know, that 500 or 1,000 I could be spending somewhere else. So I'm still just a little bit like not really ready to jump in yet.
Yeah. It almost makes more sense like at that point to just like buy a case, of a set you really like. Like if there's an anime you really love and a set's coming out, because you're guaranteed a case hit, it almost makes more sense to like do that. And then you can like you have so much optionality, right? Because you're gonna have all those booster boxes. You can open, you can break, hopefully you don't have to open all 18 to hit an SP. Like, and depending on the set, there might be multiple hits in a case. So that can be a better route. It is crazy, like how but the interesting thing is like Weiss has always been that way. Like because so what people don't really understand is like how printing with Weiss works in English versus Japanese. But the long story short is like when Weiss like SAO, right? Sword Art Online. The first set came out in 2013. Um, the print runs were based on popularity, effectively, right? Because it was a print to demand, but in a way where it's demand assessed by the like the LGSs and the distributors. So it was like it was almost like feedback based, right? So basically, long story short, you ended up with some very, very low print runs of some of these original Weiss sets. And even now, you don't usually see reprints in English. this is more of this is a little different, and we're seeing like how they're nuancing it, right? Where like some of the gold signatures are now silver, or like the original one, some of these sets that are coming out now, like the SAO set had 1 out of 10s for some of the SPs alongside that same SP unnumbered, like that Xenon I pulled, for example. So, but what I'm saying is Weiss has held value like for a long time. Like, yes, TCGs are in vogue and it's exploded, but like on a relative basis, because those have always had a lot of them manufacturing rarity, and then on top of that, the condition rarity has been also difficult because you can very easily scratch SPs. There was obviously it's a very playable game, and sometimes SPs are very playable. So it's interesting how, like, yes, the prices are pretty wild, but when you think about it relative to the boxes and relative to a case and relative to the print run and the chase, I think it all kind of makes sense. I think some of the black labels and stuff are getting a little wild. I'll stick with 9s and 9.5s and stuff like that. But a couple binder sets I have, which is fun. But yeah, they are cranking on all cylinders. There are some amazing sets coming out this year. DNA asked how many series do they make? It depends. Every year, Japanese versus English have different stuff, right? Like we saw the Marvel set that's only Japan because of how the trademark or the licensing works, right? They're doing like Disney sets and Pixar sets through Japan, but then like on the English and Japanese side, they're doing, Fate Camelot movie. They're doing Tokyo Revengers. They're reprinting SAO 1 and 2. They're doing a final set for the final season of, AOT, not SAO, Attack on Titan. Like, they're cranking Hollow Live. Like, there's tons, and like a lot of anime I don't necessarily watch.
That was pretty cool. That whole live set was pretty cool.
It's pretty sweet. Danmachi is going to be really good too. It's going to be really sweet. The Japanese set already came out, and it's got some killer SPs. It was a great anime. It's called, like in English, Is It Wrong to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon? Very long title, very good anime. Very much enjoy that. So
quick question from the audience here. I didn't know that he did that. The A Drive started a company. Are you talking about, I don't know if Riley's still in the chat, or is it a grading company? I'm assuming, because you put TGA, so I'm assuming it's a grading company.
But I don't even know who that is. Who's A
Drive? He's like a Twitch streamer. Yeah, he Pokerev, one of those guys.
I'm gonna say I don't really need to know specifics about any of these companies, because I just know you are making a very, very significant gamble. Even when I started grading with CGC when they first came out for trading cards, and they've been around for like 20 plus years in coins and comics and all these things, that was a gamble. Now you just got some dude who got a freaking press and some acrylic pieces of plastic in his freaking garage. Even some of the ones with scale and the ones with AI, like AGS, blah, blah, blah. Like, on those, I would rather be wrong and late than early and super wrong. But I mean, if you want to put your card in a piece of plastic, like, just go to Target and get a one touch, I personally don't understand the appeal of grading with a company that has no history and doesn't have any significant differentiators and hasn't proven themselves in the market. Like, I would not do that. I would rather just put the card in a binder.
Yeah, I think a good counter argument is what Riley said. There's some customization you can do to it, and it's cool. And so if people like that, and it's like you said, you prefer the binder, and I remember we've talked about this a long time ago, talking about the meta or the newer generation. It's like they don't really collect binder sets; they collect slabs. And so if that's like your thing and the way that you like to do your collection or display it or whatever, protect it, all that stuff, That's super cool. I just don't want to I just don't want these grading companies to like try to fool people into thinking that like, oh, it's going to boost the value of your cards and you can resell them for more, like PSA or BGS or something like that. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I think it's a money grab, and it's like the card economist who started doing his own grading
No comment.
service, and so you can buy the cards from his stream, grade it with him, get the stuff back. It seems like a cash grab, but again, I'm not in their shoes, and I'm sure that their response is like, well, I just want to give slabs to people in a market where it takes $100 to grade their slab. And it's like, yes, you are providing that service, but what's the return on getting that slab? Are you promising that the card is going to go up? And if so, that's really that's pretty I'm going to choose my words carefully here. That's not nice.
Yeah.
But if you're just providing a service where people want to get slabs and just display it, that's cool. And I think that that's a service that a lot of people provide, but like it's probably most likely not going to resell like a PSA or BGS or even a CGC, that has big weight names behind it that have been in the market for a while. Even CGC with new with grading, they've been in the comic world for years, and have built that reputation. So I don't know. A lot of it to me, it just seems like a money grab. And it's like the following that these people have, it's like a cult following. If you go on some of these channels and watch like the people in the live chat, like they're like ride or die, like no matter what these guys say, they'll do it. They'll follow it. They'll listen to it. And it's just, I don't know. It just makes me a little nervous.
It's a little scary.
Yeah.
I think that, one thing I think about with all these grading companies is I am all for entrepreneurship. So if you can bring something differentiated, high quality, desirable, filling a gap in the market, or creating a desire or a want or demand for something that people didn't even know they wanted, and you do it the right way ethically, like I'm all for that.
Yeah.
I just look at these the same way I look at like the multitude of TCG Kickstarters that have cropped up. You're just like, you're making like a super risky bet in an already like really kind of risky illiquid market, right? Like we see it all the time. Like even with someone like SGC, right, who's fairly well established. I'd call him like the fourth wheel, right, on the truck here. I mean,
what about Ace Grading, man?
Oh God. Oh, is that the UK one?
Yeah.
See, now that
Sorry, I'm being mean.
I don't know much about him. Is like, I don't follow that whole thing, but I will say that he is filling a need where international folks can't get stuff graded, right? Especially in the UK.
He seems like a really good dude.
I don't know if you're being
nice
or not.
No, man, he does. He seems nice.
What's his name?
Randolph Gaming, I think.
Yeah. I remember I've watched like a couple of his videos and stuff. I know nothing about the guy. And if it's legit, sweet. Like I just we'll see in like 18 months like how many of these companies are around,
That's it, man. It's like
how many grading companies do we need?
Right.
Like what are you bringing to the hobby that's necessarily a positive? Like I don't know. It's graders don't just like grow on trees either, right? Like it's not a crazy difficult skill, but like the best companies I think have probably pretty good training programs, hopefully in place, like try to actually vet their employees, like staff out. I mean, I say that, but like PSA pre-acquisition, like had like not a lot of graders, but that's like pre-boom, like they got away with it. Right. So Basic with the absolute gem right there. Thank you. Now that's going to be stuck in my head forever.
Yeah, exactly. My point and our points, Dragon, that the values are so bad and eBay is very risky. I think like I remember watching, I can't remember if it was on his Patreon or just a public video, but SM Pratt talking about how a lot of grading companies have approached him and like, hey, let's start a grading company. I want your expertise, this and that. And he's like, no, like I won't do it because I'm not going to go down that trail of people putting money into these cards and thinking that it has potential to go up in value when the chances are these grading companies probably won't be around for much longer. And they're just, I don't want to be a part of that. Like I go with the tried and true PSA, BGS, whatever, his thing. He's like, I just don't want to be a part of that world. And like, I totally get that, man. And I respect that, because I feel like a lot of people, they're like, although, like on a surface level, they're like, well, I want to provide a service and I want to do this and I want to do this. In the back of my mind, I can't help but thinking like, I'm going to make money off this, this is going to be good, because I don't know, if you're really about the people for the people, like, I don't think that it's something that you would start. But do you know what? I'm not in their shoes. And like you said, maybe there's somebody new out there that does something different, that does something the right way. I just don't know what that looks like, because the market's so established already, in regards to what we have. So we'll see, man. I think it's a super good topic to discuss. And I'm sure there's tons of points out there. I'm glad that there's other people, chiming in here. This is good topic for sure.
To be fair, like, there's, to play devil's advocate, on the flip side, like someone like Scott has an inherent bias to stick with like a PSA or a BGS, right? Because
He does.
where a lot of the value of what he has comes from. It's what he's auctioning. It's, you always got to like, it's who's aligned in the background. I mean, you always got to look at it from a, like, I live by this mantra that's super cynical, but it's trust no one and verify twice. Like, there's just so much manipulation everywhere, even with like some of the biggest people in the hobby to the smallest people. Like, it's just, the world's weird, man. So I get it. What I going back to it real quick is, I would like to see, or better yet said, I will wait until this happens with a more established grading company. I love some of the customization stuff that's coming out. Like, I think it's super cool the way you can change labels and the color schemes and all these things. Like, there are some neat things there as a collector who likes to display my collection.
Right.
That I would find really, really cool. And there's like a myriad of unique opportunities there. That's why I like Polka Dreamer so much, right? Because the way he does his displays, I find really like appealing. It's the same thing with some of these custom slabs, but I would rather wait for like PSA or Beckett or CGC to roll something out like that, a secondary service line where it's the same grading, but it's, not a, it's like the grading for collectors type of thing, right? It has very little to do with the market, because much more personalization, more geared towards keeping it in your collection. But then again, it's like, what are the economics of that? Why would an established company necessarily be incentivized to roll out that service? Like, does it actually make business sense to do that? Is the demand going to be there? But I think it's cool. Like, I would like that.
Yeah.
I know there's, people out there who make custom slab, like Swami has a press, I'm pretty sure, like, has made custom.
Oh, really?
People. Yeah.
That's
like awesome. I would love to. It's the same way there's like those, custom card companies for people. Like, I think that's really neat, but
yeah. I totally agree with Andrew or Valiant. What you said, like, it's not about you can't just be the good guy and just be a man for the people and not make any money. That's not what I'm saying. It's just, I get the feel when these new companies pop up, like when I hear them talking about the company, it makes it sound like they're going to be as good as PSA, or that their cards are going to go up in value, and they're being the good guy. They're providing the service where, oh, you can't get anything for under $50 or whatever. And so I'm going to do this grading service where it's $10 and good turnaround times. They make themselves, like, they build themselves up instead of, like, I don't know. It's not necessarily like you're going to be like, oh, your cards probably won't going to go up, but you get it in a slab, so come with us. They're not going to say that, but it just seems like it's really heavy tilted in regards to them trying to compare themselves to some of the bigger players in the space. And that's just, to me, it's not the case, but again, I'm not in their shoes, not here to hate, just my thoughts.
Yeah. We live in a very, like, and it's kind of always been like this, and it's probably just more at the forefront because the barrier to entry on entrepreneurship so low. But like, we live in a world where there's a very low level of business ethics, right? So
Yeah.
then you enter, like, then you like compound that with the like the really easy ability to be an entrepreneur and start your own business with folks that don't necessarily have the best intentions, the best integrity,
Right.
or sometimes
Exactly.
just don't know better. And again, trust no one and verify twice, but also like maybe benefit of the doubt a little bit. Like some people really believe what they're cooking. You know what I mean?
Right. Exactly.
So,
Yeah.
like they like drink their own Kool-Aid. So
Right.
I don't know, man. It's just like it creates a little bit of excess tension in the hobby that you hope wouldn't be
Yeah.
there. But again, love entrepreneurship. Like if you're doing
Yeah.
it
Me too.
ethically, like best of luck to you. Like
That's it.
a
You
year
know,
and a half
the
ago, I wanted to start some sort of my buddy does a lot of like woodworking and manufacturing and has direct lines to like cheap supplies in Asia. And I was talking to him about different like ways we can make displays and cases and things like that because that I tell you is a market that has exploded. And there are a couple folks out there who like do displays and acrylic cases like the right way and really well and super affordable. Um, and that's like, I love that entrepreneurial part of this
yeah.
hobby. I think it makes so much sense. Serving a huge need. Like there's that space is going to keep growing, right? It's all
Mhm.
about like your ability to have your cave, your man cave, or your, whatever pokey room or whatever, like, and actually show things off. So I tend to lean more towards like I like that part of the entrepreneurship associated with the hobby because it's like it's truly serving a need and people are differentiated enough where like you can pop up a new acrylic case business and bring something different or do customs or have a different design or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, it's much more like approachable than like no one's telling you because your booster box is in a silver GT acrylic case that it's worth 20% more. But someone's saying that about their new grading slab company, right? Just because
Right.
in that plastic. So
And that's to that point of you being like coming about it with honesty and integrity, maybe bring something different to the table. And then what Pokemon DNA just said about shilling any grading company, anything along those lines. That's where I'm at. And I think I might have a prejudgment, a little resentment towards these newer grading companies that pop up because I've been in, and I'm not going to name drop, in certain people's YouTube channel where they're talking about their own grading company,
mm,
and it's just disgusting, man. Like it's just disgusting. And to watching the engagement in the live chat with people, and so you know what, you're right. You know, if you're going to bring something to the hobby, it's going to be fun. It's going to be, whatever. Like that's great. I just want to see it done in like a respectful, trustworthy type of manner. So
yeah, totally
that's
agree.
good, man.
Yeah. So what other topics you want to hit on? What have you been collecting lately, or what have you been up to? What have you been dabbling in?
Uh, dude, I mean, my channel dynamics have changed drastically,
Yeah, I want to hear about that. I want to hear about how the
I,
vibes are.
so, originally I kind of came in and was doing the whole Z&G sales videos, talking about what I was buying, selling, how long, all that type of good stuff. And it really transitioned into me talking about the market, what's going on with certain cards, products, items, giving market updates and whatnot. And it's super fun. It's awesome. It's just like, it's a lot of work. One, work that I don't really have time for anymore. With my current workload, it's just really hard to grind out those videos. And then two, like, editing just takes so much, and I get tired of talking into the camera. It's just me and myself. I'm just talking into a camera where I can be doing something like this, engaging with you, all these other people. It's just super fun. And so I started getting more into the live streams and just doing like a lot of live giveaways and just having fun that way and just interacting and having a good time, trying to sell packs below MSRP, where it's like, obviously I'm going to make a little bit of money, but the margins are very small. And I'm literally doing it to make a little extra cash and just a way to like communicate with people. And like, since I've been doing that, I've met so many people that show up to the lives every single week. Basic usually shows up and says what's up in the beginning, and I so appreciate that, man. But dude, just the friendship side of it, how many more people I've been able to meet through the lives have been just insane. You know, people reaching out on Instagram, the Discord, like it's just super fun. And so a lot of what I've been buying lately are like booster boxes and stuff that I can have fun, rip on the channel and do all that. So I recently bought a Japanese diamond and pearl base set booster box that we're going to rip this Sunday. I got a Mysterious Treasures diamond and pearl booster box on the English side that we're going to rip, I don't know, a couple weeks from now. And then I did buy something for myself, personal collection goal. I bought a Japanese Golden Sky Silvery Ocean EX booster box. So that was a big one. That was a big one. I just traded my PSA 9 Gold Star Charizard for some cash and got Crystal Nidoking PSA 10. So I love the crystals. They're super fun. So been doing that. And then, I mean, I'm trying to think just like random cards that I see come up at auction just for dirt cheap, you know, from like Japanese Diamond and Pearl era or Platinum era. You know, you can just pick up for like $80, like really cool, solid artworks, just stuff like that. How about you?
Nice. Gosh, what have I been doing? I have been working on a certain set collection goal, so a full set in 9. So I've been working on that. I don't want to necessarily say what it is because the pops are so darn low that I'm going to get crushed by people, but it's fine. If someone asks me, I'll tell them. So that's been fun. There was recently like kind of a slew of them on PWCC and a couple of their auction sites, some 6 certs from PSA. So I picked those up. The hint is CGC does not grade them. We didn't even touch on that, by the way, that CGC just launched tops grading. Super excited.
Oh, I know you're excited about that.
I'm going to leave that there. Keep going.
I think you're the only one, but
yeah, probably. No, OG is super excited, bro. There's people who love tops. Basic loves tops. I don't think he's excited that CGC is grading tops, but he likes tops. He's all about it. So,
dude, it's gained a lot of popularity over the last 2 years for sure.
Yeah, it's interesting because, and I think with tops, a lot of it for most people is that they appreciated it more later.
Yeah.
And we hear this all the time, right? It's like the freaking cards that your grandma would buy you, and you'd be like, no, these are the fake ones. Like, I don't want these. Like, I hated Topps cards as a kid.
Dude, it was the worst.
Some of them.
So misleading.
Oh, got you Pokemon cards. No, It's like that. it's that real meme, whatever, with like, who's that Pokemon? It's like, it's so funny. It's like you think you're getting rocket packs and you're getting tops. But I enjoy it. They're still like pretty cheap. Like I went and picked up a couple Series 2 packs just to screw around with. Those are the ones that have the clear cards and the die cuts and all that. Those are super cool. I like the clear ones a lot. I have a Togepi over there. I don't know if people have seen these. They're pretty sweet. What is this? Yeah, TV animation, like the clear cards. I really like these. They're super fun. I think they're gonna look good in the CGC slab, so that's cool. But anyway, I've been messing around, picking up and trading for some Weiss stuff from some of the original SAO sets that I still didn't have. Been doing a lot of trading lately. Some of my extra vintage packs for some different items. Like I've been trying to get a couple more WotC era items, like this starter deck box, which is pretty sick.
Yeah.
So traded some vintage Japanese for that. Stuff like that. And just really, again, dabbling across the TCGs I like, MetaZoo Wilderness, Weiss, of course, Akora. I'm super excited about first edition coming out. I have a Kickstarter box. I know I'm not opening it. It's just like sealed display because I think it looks really cool. But like for an anime guy like me, like Akora fits that vibe, and the cards are really, really beautiful. So someone put Digimon in the chat. I've opened a little bit of Digimon, but I like that, right? I like dabbling. So So just kind of stuff like that if I think about it. And then grading. Just because I love with CGC now how I can just like do a bulk sub maybe with one or two other buddies or just by myself and do Pokemon and MetaZoo and Weiss and just, send it. So yeah, I've been really focused on that set that I've been collecting. And then outside of that, just kind of dabbling with the stuff I love. Like I said, there's so much Weiss this year that like a lot of like I'm not really buying as much sealed Pokemon. Still picking up, the Japanese sets I like, VMAX Climax and Battle Region, and interested
Great
to see.
prices right now.
Yeah, super good prices even now. Pokemon Go set's going to be interesting. Picked up a couple Japanese boxes of that.
Nice.
But more so just because there's so much darn good Weiss this year. I'm mostly like pre-ordering those. Like I have front loaded a lot of my purchasing this year because the pre-orders are so far out for a lot of these sets. So yeah, that's what I've been getting after. Like I said, grading and selling modern when I can. Trying to think if anything else. Yeah.
I think the only other item that I bought recently and can transition into the next topic because it's something that I'm really passionate about is
Crack it.
no, I'm gonna reholder it.
Oh,
So
nice.
this is the old one. As you can see, it has the folded down flaps. Like in the back, it's folded down. This is Mysterious Treasure, so part of Skyridge on the English side. And I still think that there's a lot of opportunity for graded packs in the market. This one was actually really affordable. I think I got it for a fairly good price, but I was looking at some comps before here for PSA packs that have been selling recently. And here's just a couple comps to go through with you guys. So PSA 9, and by the way, this is all showed up in Terapeak, so it's something that's sold and paid for. It's eBay, one of eBay's seller tools. PSA 9 Roaring Skies, they've been selling for $100 to $150. PSA 10 Hidden Fates packs for $150 to $200. PSA 10 First Edition Jungle and Fossil have been selling for $450 to $650. PSA 10 base set packs have been going for about $600 to $800. First edition Rocket and PSA 10 been going for about $700 to $800. We had a PSA 10 Japanese Neo 3 pack sell for $1K, and then I saw first edition Neo Genesis Lugia artwork sell for $1,600. So with the Neo 3 pack, it's only like a pop of 10, I think it is, or something around that. And same with this. This one's like fairly low pop. I can't remember exactly how much it is, but I think that's where there's a lot of opportunity.
There's one less because I cracked one and didn't send the label back to PSA.
It was a PSA 9, right? PSA 9?
Yeah.
I get that. I could see someone doing that, but not the 10. The 10 looks nice.
Something I've been thinking a lot with sealed packs or graded packs is because when we talk, I've been wrestling with it ever since we talked to Jake about it.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny because I've always chased getting the 10 with packs, and it's the only thing in my collection I've ever wanted to get 10s for, which I think, honestly, the more I think about it, is really stupid because the difference between an 8, 9, and a 10 graded pack, I think, is even less than the difference between an 8, 9, and a 10 card. Actually, I would say definitively, I think it is less of a spread. So I think it's a super interesting part of the market. It's still niche. Like it's still like less loved for sure. I liked it a lot better when it was only like $25 a pack.
Yeah, I agree.
But I think love them.
I think the current pack prices are a little too much. It's $100 to grade right now. And if you end up getting like that PSA 9 instead of a 10, you're taking a huge risk for sure. And so you gotta, understand what they're looking for. But I do think that there is some opportunity in regards to, buying a light pack for fairly cheap, maybe from a box break, something like that, or something that you break open yourself, whatever, and have some opportunity to make, a solid profit margin. But again, like, that risk factor for sure is inherent, no doubt. But for me, it's like, I love it as a collector, because a lot of these pack cards, especially like these vintage Japanese ones, are really low pop, and they're really fun to chase. And I think that they have really good potential in regards to, moving up down the line. Like you said, it's still a niche, or, not a lot of people are really into it. I've been seeing TCA Gaming do auctions like a fiend with packs, and so I think it has gotten some more popularity just, in the market. He talks about it on his YouTube channel and whatnot. But I don't know, there's just something about it that, with the new way that they display the packs, I just think that they look really, really great, and they've been really fun to collect for me. And after my last submission, where I only got 110 and I got, I think, 3 9s or 4 9s, I'm like, oh, they grade pretty tough, and so it's kind of fun to chase those as a collector as well. And for some of these, you can get them for a pretty affordable price.
PK, if he's still in here, has something that he says something that I love, and Dan kind of reiterated it here too, with the
Yeah,
a little bogus. I wish, just PK has said this, and I agree, that like it was just off. Like, can we just like switch to only authentication and there's no grades on packs, like number wise? I think that would be good enough for me, honestly. Now, the more I think about it, I would actually be interested to get these reholdered, because I have before sold the old style, like bought a new one on auction in the new style and sold the old style one at a fixed price for higher, or traded it for more value. And I always think about doing that with these, like, just because it's an inefficient market, right? So, but it's a good point with you saying about reholdering. It just depends on the pack, how long the crimps are, how long it's been, in here folded. But I can say that, for example, out of these two, because the crimps on Rocket are shorter than this Jungle Pack, and it just kind of looks cleaner from a stance of like the back of this is a little bunched up, I would be interested to reholder these.
they look really good, man.
Yeah. The nice thing is with English, you still get like that full pack art feel.
Sure.
But yeah, the new ones look way better. Like, that's just definitive fact. Like, it's like why they didn't start that way is what really baffles me, to be honest.
Yeah, no, I just, yeah, I agree. But I just have been noticing, it's something that I try to keep track of pretty close. And I think that the prices for the jungle, the fossil, the base set have dropped down a little bit. But overall, I think that the pack prices have gone up, and that there is a little bit more of a demand for it. Again, it's a little bit more, well known. But that Team Rocket, it's interesting to see, because some of them will still sell for low.
It's because the fact that light pack could still have a non-hollow Charizard in it, I swear to God. Plus, it's the best pack arts, in my opinion. But just a really good soup to nuts set. I think it's just because those packs are worth more. Yeah, those were at peak. Those were going for like over $1,500, I think, in 10.
Maybe really?
More. Yeah.
Oh wow, I don't remember that.
Like, we're talking like 2020, like fall winter 2020.
I probably I wasn't looking at pack prices back then, because that's when they still had the old fold. So I'm surprised that people were paying that much for that.
That's all there was, baby.
Right, for sure.
Better.
Yeah.
Ask Matt Flynn. He talks about that a lot. One of his bigger mistakes in the hobby was starting to collect those and overpaying for them. I want to know if they'll grade these. Can I get these graded? I never even thought about it until now. This is just a Harry Potter base art set.
I don't know. I don't know, actually.
Yeah, I mean, when it was $25 or even when it was $50, I think it went from 25 to 50. I can't remember if it jumped straight to 75. I don't really remember. You think about it, it's like the same price as a display case. So why not? You know, I've got 1 or 2 packs still there from 14 months ago, 15 months ago. So I think there's still that significant. It was weird though, because I had like one randomly like jump the line. No, 2, a pair of them, and like came back to me. But I've still got one that's still there from like last February. It's like a first edition Gym Heroes Misty pack.
Yeah, I was just talking with Jay Scottison today, and he's like, dude, my pack submission of like, I think he sent like 30 something packs to get graded at that $25 or $50 level. He's like, yeah, it's way back in, I think it was January or February 2021. He's like, it's finally getting graded now, you know?
Nice.
And so he's got a bunch of expedition packs on the English side coming back. And so just talking about that. So it'll be kind of interesting to see, you know, how that comes back. With those,
I'd really like a graded Skyridge pack.
On the English side.
Yeah. Yeah. I saw that who just hit one of those in a 10. Joshua Ottawa.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And I think it was that Vaporeon artwork.
Mm-hmm.
That and I would say the number 1 graded pack that I would like is Legendary Collection. The Evolutions pack art.
Yeah.
So good.
Those are pretty sweet. I agree.
Jacob wishes they graded blisters. Yeah, there would be a lot of people who found out their blisters were resealed if that happened. So, for damn sure. Yeah, I think it's one of the cooler parts of the grading phenomenon. I really like graded packs. I do think some of the premiums are aggressive. I would like to see them narrow a bit. I'm not sure, especially like I said, the spreads. Like I might just start going after like PSA 8 packs. You know, see what happens. Catch some auctions.
Yeah.
See how low they go.
Yeah.
Like for gosh sakes, if it goes like less than an unweighed pack or like close to a light price, I mean, what the heck? I mean, I don't know. Like, it's funny because like it has nothing to do with like the cut of the crimps or anything like that. When you look at the grading standards and what drives it, like where's my? I have another. Where the heck is it? I have a base set 2 long crimp. It's like I think there's only 2 or 3 in the whole pop.
Oh, the Gary.
Yeah, the Gary.
Yeah.
Where's that? And it got a 9, and I like knew it would get a 9, mostly just based on like one of the air holes on the back was like a little extra open.
Yeah.
And like that's what it did. Plus, I think sometimes with the longer crimp packs, they just had a tendency like for the cards to move a little more. I don't know. I mean, it's hard to say, but like I have no problem with this in a 9. I would love this art set in a 9 too. But only long crimp because they're way rare for now. Another issue, the whole pop manipulation thing. But yeah, man. What do you think you'll pick up any, or you think you're mostly focused on grading your own packs at this point?
No, I'll probably be picking them up for sure. I'm gonna try to look for the ones that have the old fold, you know, because they are going for less for sure, 100%. And just reholdering.
I have saved searches for 9 and 10 that I get every day. And now I'm going to make one for PSA 8.
Nice.
Because why not, right?
Yeah, man, for sure. DNA, to answer the question, I'm pretty sure they do authenticate packs. You can just get the authentication grade. I could be wrong on that, but I'm almost 100% positive that
think
they
so.
can.
Trying to think. Yeah, they definitely do, because like you got to think about, like we're so hyper focused on Pokemon, but there's so many like old wax packs and stuff that just get authenticated. I'm pretty sure, if I recall.
Yeah.
So,
but yeah, dude, I for me, I'm really waiting for the pack prices, the grading fees to go down to submit more, because I absolutely will, without a doubt. It's just more convenient, streamlined, um, risk, for me, just to buy the PSA 10 already for an affordable price that I'm comfortable with,
yeah.
and just for the collection. It's not for resale value. I'm just picking up specific sets with a lot of the Japanese e-reader, and then some of the Japanese EX sets. That's what I want.
Yeah, I think one of the mistakes I made was not grading enough of my Japanese packs,
Mm.
because everything outside of base up until E series, the guaranteed hollow made me always not want to grade them.
Right.
And I think I should have done that. I just got another Japanese Expedition Light. Maybe I should grade that when the prices come down. Should think about that. I love those arts. I really do. But yeah, that 9 I cracked looks great. Like, it looks
Yeah.
so good.
And that's in the silver GT case. Is that what you just put it in?
Yeah, I got it over here. It's been out for so long now, you can't really tell. You can tell a little bit at the bottom. Can't tell as much at the top, but I mean, it looks good. I mean, it's,
Looks great.
it is what it is. It looks great to me.
Yeah.
I'm cool with it, so I'm here for it. Oh yeah, I got the label right behind it. I forgot I kept that. Yeah, I think I'm gonna crack some Expedition this year, though. I think that's
on the Japanese side.
Yeah. I got 4 heavies now, so worked out well.
Those are good to have in the back pocket, man.
Mm-hmm. I've never opened one. I've never opened one of those.
I don't think I have any. I've never opened any E series either, actually.
Yeah.
When's your birthday?
November.
Okay, we got some time.
We got some time, but
we got some time
for sure. Cody, who you got some packs from? We were talking about that because he loves those sets too, and I was like, yeah, dude, I got to crack 1 or 2 later this year for sure. Maybe when I close this Series A round, I'll
celebrate.
Oh, interesting. Oak said there's no authentic, only slab choice. It's interesting. I really thought there was.
Yeah, they have. I'm pretty sure they have pictures on their website that says authentic for the slabs. I thought, anyways. Maybe I'm thinking of the cards. My brain is just tired. I'm just mixing that up. But thanks for checking, Oak. Appreciate that.
Side note: this kid's a monster. Unreal. Oh, it's so sick.
Oh, for Expedition.
Yeah, dude, that's the thing. That set, like, I like other sets better in E series and across the 5 Japanese sets, but man, I tell you, like, there are so many good hollows in Expedition. It's actually ridiculous. Like, you can't go wrong. You can't be upset opening one of those. Yeah,
I'd rather. I really want to. It's my dream to crack like a Win from the Sea pack or Town on No Map, because that's just my favorite. Aquapolis is my favorite set for WotC. I love Neo Destiny too, but I think Aquapolis, just so many good artworks in there. So how they break it up into 2 sets, and it's a little bit more digestible. It's not a 32. A shot at 1 in 32 of the card you really want, you know what I mean, at pulling what you want. So your odds are a little bit better, but I think Win from the Sea, because you got the evolutions on Town on No Map, but you got all the crystals on Win from the Sea. You know what I'm saying? And you also have the Tyranitar from Win from the Sea.
And so let me think. The Slow King, is that one in Win from the Sea?
I have it right here behind me. Yep.
And there's one other one. The
That Kasube is sick. Oh, the Baba
Yeah, I love that card.
executor. Yeah.
Yeah, I just picked one of those up from Sub F. Picked up some Weiss from him and I tossed that in. I was like, why not? Yeah, Neo 4 is interesting. You just mentioned, like, I don't think I'll ever open that set. I've opened every other set through the Neos, like from base all the way through in Japanese, except for Neo 4, because it just like never really made sense to me. The prices are crazy. But I do want to try to crack this and regrade it with CGC. It's a 9.5 with no subgrades with a swirl. It's like an early CGC cert, and it is so damn clean. I want to see if I can get the pristine 10.
Dude, good luck, man.
I think there's going to be a fun market for that.
They are brutal. You got to look at that stuff under a microscope when you're looking at it, because every single one of the cards that I sent to BGS, I thought it had a shot at the black label. Like, I'm not kidding. I was looking at it so closely with my eyes, but you got to look at it under a microscope or like a scale loop or something. And you have to do those precise measurements for the centering. I mean, just everything. You know, you got to look at the side of the card for the edges. I mean, just the tiniest little thing, boom, 0.5 grade, 9.5 grade. So it's tough, man.
Not to mention the anxiety of cracking one of these open.
After watching Kanto Shark with his first edition Venusaur.
That Venusaur.
That one hurt the soul. That one hurt the soul for sure.
So bad. so bad. Yeah. Chat is killing it today. Appreciate y'all being out here. This is so fun. Man, I miss this.
Yeah, for sure.
Life's just been insane, dude. It's like, just like not. It's like you sleep when you're dead, though, right? That's what they say. Yeah, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. So, dude, think we should rip one of these. See if we can find the Captain America SP.
Yeah, dude. I mean, yeah.
Show chat a little bit. That's the one you sent me the other day, right? Captain America.
Yeah, the one with I sent you the Captain America. I don't know what set it's from though. I don't know anything about
that.
Really.
That was the trial. So like I think that was the trial deck exclusive. So there's certain SPs, the signature cards, that only come in the trial decks, which I've had the luck of pulling. I don't think I have it out, but there's one from 7 Deadly Sins. So yeah, let's take a look. What the heck? I've been reorganizing my sealed, like not my display, but like my sealed collection. Like just like the stuff I have for a rainy day or to sell or to break. And I forgot I had an extra one of these. I also have one on display, but like I don't really care as much about the trial decks. The cases are cool to display though. They're really neat. So.
And then after you crack this, I want to talk about one more topic before we call it a wraps. But I'm dying to see if that card's in there, man, because
that would actually be ridiculous if we pulled that out.
Is it a really tough one to pull? Like the chances of it are really low.
Yeah, okay. The chances are super low.
Hey, if anyone can do it, it's you, man. You be pulling those SPs.
Hot hands. Let's hope for the best.
The fire fingies.
I think I'm going to see the Doctor Strange movie on Saturday.
Is it coming out?
Yeah.
This weekend?
Yeah. I'm not like a crazy I'm honestly not a crazy Marvel fan. Like I'm not, like I like some of the characters. I don't know. I was never a big comic guy. Like
same, me neither.
It's just, it's fun. Like it's cool. So basically what happens is you see how there's that piece of plastic around the middle?
Mm-hmm.
You just kind of got to like try to slide that off without destroying the cards, which is always fun.
Oh, it's not like on the Zap deck where it's gonna totally
it won't destroy
ruin your chances of your card.
So what there is so this is an SR of Iron Man, and there should be another one behind it. Yeah, this is the horizontal SR. That one's sweet. And then what'll happen is we'll go through this, and if there's a hit, It's going to be somewhere in the back, not like at the end, but
Okay.
like just somewhere in the back. So basically, what you'll do is because because this is a trial deck for play, there's going to be multiples, right? So like you're going to have, there's going to be tons of these, like a couple, Hulks. They're sweet though. They're cool cards.
Yeah, for sure.
Judo Girl asked, "Is Rock where I live?" Yes, Rochester, New York. That's me. Here I am, living in the ROC. So, oh, geez, yeah, these are neat. I can't imagine what it would have cost Weiss to do this in English, like what the license. And actually, I think Upper Deck holds the license for trading cards in English. So I don't think that was an option. So, hey, Judo Girl also lives in Rochester. That is wild. Small world.
I think they have really great potentials to do like some type of like really cool like alternate art style of cards with these Marvel, because it's all action, I mean, these guys like on the movie screen, it's just some of the best entertainment, you know what I mean? So I think that they could like take that and put it into a card. I think that'd be pretty sweet.
That would be cool.
Yeah. Because right now it's pretty like basic like poses and whatnot, which is fine, but
What's interesting is that the animations or like the illustrations are a little different because I don't know if they just they're just different. Like they're a little off isn't the right word, but they're just like not.
I get what you're saying.
Really expect. We're moving through this. We're almost there. We're gonna find out if there's something spicy in here. The odds are very low, almost non-existent, but they're cool to check out. And I figured we'd do it because you sent me that card and you got me looking at my sealed collection.
Yeah.
You're a bad influence. Okay.
Is that it?
It's a triple rare. So you either get a SP or you'll get a triple rare. That's pretty sweet though. That's actually really sweet.
Looks good off first glance.
I'm a purple guy, so
Is that Hawkeye?
Yeah. I actually really like that card because I'm like a bow hunter and stuff. Like that's sweet.
Oh, tell me more. Bow hunter.
Yeah. I grew up bow hunting deer. Yeah. Yeah.
No.
Like I don't gun hunt at all. I just bow hunt.
Dude, that's pretty savage.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's like so much more. I think it takes a lot higher level of skill and a challenge.
Oh, no doubt.
It's more fair to the animal. Dude, this card is. I don't know if
it's like the Avatar. It's like the Avatar scene. The scene in Avatar where he like goes up to him and talks to the animal before it's all respectful and
dude.
That thing's sweet.
Sometimes if you it's this is textured. You can kind of see it there and
yeah.
That's sweet.
Send me a picture after this so I can get up close to that.
It's off center, left to right. I'm probably going to send that to CGC anyway because why the heck not? So that's sweet. I just hit a 10 on the what did I do? Falcon. I think it was just an SR, but that was sweet.
Right on.
Great card.
Nice, dude.
Yeah, dog. So what you got for our final topic after a little hiatus there?
Little break.
Little break. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we're at that, almost that 120-minute mark, so I think it's making pretty good time, Yeah. I figured we'd talk about something and not even talk about, but just kind of noticing this. And I think this has been happening for like the last like 6 months, maybe even a year, but definitely in full force as of late for me. And that's, and this is not me trying to shill anything or any way, shape or form, but just what I've seen is just Diamond and Pearl has really, really exploded, especially on the low pop side. I think it's more fun to watch a Diamond and Pearl box break as compared to base set box break, fossil box break, jungle box break, because we've just seen the cards a million different times. The pops aren't super low. mean, if it's a first edition break, that's always super fun, or Shadowless is awesome. But Diamond and Pearl is just something that kind of mixes it up. There's a lot of low pop cards to chase, and they've been selling for pretty good lately. Have you noticed anything along the lines with that as well, or you seen something else?
I've definitely seen like the uptick in popularity for sure.
Mm-hmm.
It's not something I keep as much of a pulse on because honestly, I just don't care for them as much. There's only so much you can keep tabs on, right? And I try to like keep a good pulse on the market. I have definitely, I don't know. I can't figure out how much of it's genuine or how much of it's just kind of like tidal wave shifting, and kind of people trying to take advantage of the momentum. But I've definitely noticed the uptick in social media posts and stories and sales of whether it's tins or cards or what have you, packs, obviously breaks, seeing a lot of it. So I'm not as like in touch with those sets, but I like them. Like I like some of them, like some of the cards. They're just like not really my like main squeeze, you know? So I don't add much value here, but
no, it's good, man. I mean, I think Diamond and Pearl is pretty fun. I love EX Air the best, I'd have to say, but anything getting into that platinum, Diamond and Pearl, even Heart Gold, Soul Silver, I mean, they're always like really fun, you know, to watch get open. But definitely just on the sales side, just a couple, you know, facts I wanted to share with you guys. PSA 10 Lucario from Diamond and Pearl base set, sold for $1,300 recently. That's a pop 5.
Wow.
PSA 10 Deoxys, and these are just regular hollows, not level X's. PSA 10 Deoxys hollow from Legends Awakened, sold for $1,650. That's a pop 3. We had the reverse Charizard from Secret Wonders in a PSA 10, sold for $6,400. That's a pop 9.
That's and probably then you had a set in there, Secret Wonders.
It's
cards.
Phenomenal set. Phenomenal set. It's like arguably like the most expensive set and like the best set. That and kind of like Majestic Dawn are really up there. People really like Legends Awakened as well. A lot of low pop cards. And then the regular hollow for the Charizard for Secret Wonders is $7,500. And I was just like curious, like what were these cards doing a few months ago? That one's a 45% increase since back in January. You know, so it's like even just in a few months, you know, just popularity. And it's not like definitive, like, oh, that's where this card is and that's what it's going to continue to sell for. Who knows what it's going to do next time? But just in terms of, like you said, I've been seeing a lot more stuff on social media as well, especially Instagram. Lots of box break around, you know, Diamond and Pearl era on the English and Japanese side. And I think that they're a lot of fun to watch. And then Stormfront Charizard, I'll just end with this, sold for $12,500 in a PSA 10, which is $1,000 more than the base set, the original base set in PSA 10, which is it's a reprint of that set. You know, it's a reprint of the artwork. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
They have the 3 secret rares, the Charmander, the Charmeleon, and the Charizard, which are all stylized and like, you know, look like not an exact reprint, but it looks like the type and style of artwork as in the original base set, you know? And so that's selling for $1,000 more than like the original, you know, artwork of that. So I thought that was pretty interesting, but you know, probably because it's just like, I think it's around like a pop 50, something like that, as compared to what base set unlimited Charizard's like 450 or something like that, you know, but I definitely think that prices have been moving up.
Personally, that Charizard to the base Charizard. And I know it's like a restylized reprint, but I like it way more.
I think a lot of people do.
Yeah. And I'm not a Charizard guy, but I like that card. I really do. Yeah. I was just like, look, while you were talking about those prices, I was just taking a look ski at some of the sets. There's certainly some good cards. I feel like maybe it's just the inherent way I collect, but I've always liked some of the sealed product better. I I also just don't understand like all of the like pull rates and all yeah, really just the pull rates or like the chances of, you know, the EV of a lot of that product.
For
There's
Diamond and Pearl era.
Yeah, but there's some cool. Oh, that's the card I really like. I always forget that that Pikachu in Mysterious Treasures, great artwork.
Just the non-hollow.
Yeah, the non-hollow. It
Yeah.
was hollow. I have the in Japanese. It was hollow during. That's okay. So that's like. Sorry, I'm getting my head back into DP a little bit. That part of it on the Japanese side from the rehash of the Trade Please promos, like there's the Pikachu. There's both Pikachus. There's an Eevee I really like. That's just it's just too expensive for me right now. I don't like the price, but the pops are pretty low on there. The artworks are phenomenal. Like
Yeah, I agree.
This pair. I mean, this is one. This is probably. There's the Pichu. This is probably my favorite set of promos in all of Pokemon. Is these linked artworks?
Yeah,
they're just so good.
I forget the artist. Who's the artist on that?
The artist is Kazuki.
Okay, gotcha.
Kazuki. It's just like it's that same way like with Southern Islands why I love it so much because of the linked arts, you know. And just the way like I talk about this a lot, and maybe it sounds like I don't know silly, but the fact that it's like a nod to the like exchange promos of early WotC era Pokemon and the way they like brought it back. That's why I've always liked that part of Pokemon. So that whole list of Japanese DP promos, I think is a really cool subset to potentially collect.
For sure.
Some of them are super hard to get and super low pop, but super fun.
That's funny. Yeah, I think Cheval's wrapped it up pretty nicely. You know, English was getting pricey. Japanese is a good alternative. People start seeing that it's the original. So in their mindset, it's like, oh, you know, that feels good. Me personally, most of my collection is Japanese just because I like the look of the cards better. I like the feel of it. Even the shine on like modern cards and vintage cards, it's different. There's like a different texture. There's a different look. There's just something about it that makes me feel more connected to the card than on the English side. Yeah. Like I got the Crystal Nidoking in the trade because I love crystals and that's great, but that's not a forever card. Like I want the Japanese Crystal Nidoking. Like I really want that card. I think that it's solid. So I just think that the look and the feel of Japanese is just it's a little bit more superior, but that's just my opinion.
So obviously like I've always collected mostly Japanese. Right now, I think it's really interesting where like some subsets of the hobby, the Japanese prices are more attractive and some subsets, the English prices are more attractive. I see it a lot actually going back to what we were talking about in E-Series. So I think some of the like 9s for hollows from like Expedition and Aquapolis and Skyridge, it used to be like way better deal to get them in Japanese. And then you like enter into the whole Expedition with a false first edition, then first edition and unlimited on all the other sets, and how those pops have been manipulated because there's a couple key players who have a ton of those cards. Like, so basically you have the English and then you have both versions in Japanese and like what's actually more rare or not and what's the better value. I just traded for the Skyridge Gyarados.
Yeah.
And yeah, great trade. Really stoked about it. Favorite Pokemon. Always like had my eye on the Japanese one, but like the value is just better right now in English, I think personally. So that's what I think is super interesting on Japanese versus English now is it used to be, like we said, more clean cut. Japanese is always way cheaper. People started to get priced out. They started flooding into Japanese. Great for me. Great for you. Of course, wish I had just collected first edition from the beginning because that would have been better off for everything, but whatever. And now it's just a lot more like, heterogeneous, right? Different pockets of the hobby. There's better values one side or the other.
And I think the other reason, another factor that I just thought of is that a lot of the Japanese sets have guaranteed hollows. You know, it doesn't have that for the E series. It's 1 and 2. Same with base set. It's 1 and 2, but everything in between, and then most of after up until black and white is guaranteed hollows. So I think that that's another reason why Japanese got a lot more popular, is that if you want to open them yourself, I mean, dude, there's nothing worse than spending a lot of money on an unweighed pack and then you're not getting a hollow. I mean, it's that feeling that we got as a kid, it's just so disappointing, especially now. It's like it's a lot of money for these packs. So if I can buy the Japanese as a guaranteed hollow, and the pack prices are sometimes a lot cheaper than an unweighed pack, and the quality of the cards are not like astronomically higher, but they tend to be better, in regards to just the condition of the card, depending on the set, obviously. But it just feels good. Like you said, it's like grading with a certain company. It just feels good. It's fun. That's how I feel with Japanese. When I open it, I have fun. When I open English, like a vintage pack, I have so much stress because I'm like, is this even going to be anything in here? you know? So I think that's another factor of what contributed to Japanese kind of, getting popular in price and just in demand.
Yeah. When I opened that Gym Challenge pack at Leonhardt's event, that was like the first time I had opened English vintage since I was a kid, like maybe my teens. I don't remember. Like, one thing I will say is I do find it interesting as time passes how I have always noticed the way that the foil, like the packaging is for a Japanese vintage pack versus English from the WotC era, and the way the hollow sits on front is that you are more susceptible to damage of the cards inside the pack than you were with English WotC era. The English WotC packs are more durable. The hollow is somewhere hidden in there, usually, some sort of pack trick, and not the first card. So it depends, right? It just totally depends. But I have noticed that a lot of like surface issues with, people love to call it, pack fresh, man. It's going to be like, bro, how many times do I have to say pack fresh is not a condition?
I love it when I ask people for more pictures, and they're like, but it's pack fresh. I'm like, I understand that. That's great.
Pack fresh modern English cards I've had come out with a freaking crimp in the middle. Like, it's funny. People are funny. The hobby's funny, but there's just something so attractive. And just some of the sets are just way better in Japan. I mean, the way like the Shining Gyarados and Magikarp from Neo 3 are in Japanese versus English, there's no comparison, like none, bar none. So it's but like, just again, people collect what you like. Like,
exactly.
It's like I always say, and I don't say it to be hokey, like, if you like English, collect English. Just be smart about it. Again, collect what you love, but do it intelligently. Like, find the ways you can enjoy the hobby on both sides. And if you only like English cards, then screw it. Don't even worry about Japanese. Like, just do what you like, So, gotta stay focused,
Yeah, man. It's good words of wisdom,
We try. I'll let the people know we're getting towards that end of the podcast.
Man.
This is the set I'm currently focused on. I mean, I always, like, I have been, but I've kind of refocused as a what was a long-term goal that's a little more medium-term now, even though some of them are going to be really hard, is this entire Bandai set.
It's a big set.
A 9. So there's a couple cards that are just going to be almost impossible. So I kind of exclude those from my brain, some of the map cards and stuff, but been super fun. I had a ton of them. I have a handful of them at PSA right now and BGS. and I had a bunch that were supposed to go there, but mistakenly ended up at CGC and then rejected through a middleman. So kind of like rehashed my strategy, sold some of the raws that I got back. But that's why I'm excited about CGC doing tops, because I have like half a dozen tops cards that we're supposed to go to. It's really cool, like Misty foil cards. So be fun to see that get graded. So yeah, man, that's what I'm chasing after. That's a fun set. I love those artworks. They're just so iconic, so classic, just super clean. Like I have picked up so many of those raw over time. Cause like one thing I'll note is like when just things were insane, but I still wanted to like buy things in the hobby, I was still picking up a lot of those raw. Because you could still get them for a good price, because people hadn't quite hit Bondi yet, and then the prisms just like exploded and it was over. But you can get some affordable 9s now, especially on auction, of course. And I kind of have a set price point for 9s that like I'm willing to pay as a collector to get that complete set. It would be really cool to display all 150 whatever of those, So
if you were to say on average, like what are like average price points kind of across the board for the PSA 9s for that set?
For the non-prisms, it's anywhere between like 30 and 90, which is a wide spread. But I'd say the majority of them fall in the sub 50 category. There's a handful that go more like in like the 65 to 75 range. Then the prisms go anywhere from like 100 to like the Charizard goes in the 500, 600, 700s.
Right.
And then there's a couple of the checklist cards that are like thousands.
Gotcha.
Like at least $1,000 per, if not more. But the 9s, like of the non-prisms, sometimes you can get them for like, if it's the right auction, like a Probostine or a PWCC, you get them pretty cheap. The problem is all the fixed price ones, like from Japan, are listed like insanely high, and those guys just like don't budge on those. Like,
right.
They have like that card for like $300, and I'm like, dude, I bought this last week for $37. Like, F off. It's weird. It's weird with those. The pops are really low for now. So, there could be bricks of them, somewhere, but yeah, they're super approachable for one-offs, right? Like people who like really love, I don't know, like Metapod. You can go get that Metapod for like $23.
Right.
It's like an iconic artwork. It's very clean. You can even get it in red and green if you want.
Ooh.
I am not I don't care what color I get, really. Some of them look better one way or the other, but I don't really mind either way. So yeah, I've always loved those cards. That and Top Sun. Top Sun's just a little harder. There's a couple more Bondi sets. There's so many of those old non-TCG Japanese sets. It's a massive, massive black hole to dive into if people in the chat and stuff have never looked. Oaks
awesome, man.
Crazy. There's a range on the prices. Yeah, some of the starters in 9 will go over like $100 now. I sold an 8 for over $100, so it just depends. Yeah, man.
Well, hey, I'm super grateful that all you guys showed up today. It's Cinco de Mayo. You guys should be out somewhere eating tacos and smashing Pacificos with limes in them or whatever. So I appreciate you guys, and maybe you're doing that and listening to this. I don't know, whatever it is. I think that, we definitely appreciate you guys showing up, engaging in the chat, having a good time. It's why we do this stuff. Definitely isn't to make all this money from monetization and gain all these subscribers. It's just to have a good time with you guys and just engage. So thank you guys so much for showing up and making this fun for sure.
Hell yeah. This is the best, man. Chat, appreciate y'all being here. Rob, thank you for your time as always. And we're we're gonna be doing this more. We're gonna kind of get back on the wagon here where we can do what we can. Like Rob said, we do this because we love the hobby. We just want to have fun. Like we talked on the phone for like an hour or something the other day, and it was like, we could have just done this on a live. So, like we would be doing this anyway. So here we are to hang out with you guys. Y'all are the best for hanging out with us. So signing off. Episode
Thanks, guys.
in the books. See ya.
Until next time. See ya.